So the Lakers, they're sitting in third out west, and we do understand, right? The first 15 or 20 games that we saw Luka Doncic in the Lakers jersey, it went so well.
Right.
But recently, we've seen kind of the blemishes. What are you noticing, 3D?
Well, the honeymoon's over, and all the excitement and all the glitz has come down to reality. So now when you're watching the fourth quarter, you see teams now, Smitty, they're going at Luka, they're going at, even at LeBron at times too, because those guys do so much on the offensive end, setting the table, scoring, making easier looks for their teammates. But the opposing team, Smitty, is not letting them off the hook and making them play defense. And Jackson Hayes and all those other guys, Vanderbilt, there's just not enough size down there to protect the paint. And that's why down the stretch they're losing ball games.
Yeah, they need some two-way players. I mean, you have their stars, and you also have a young and up-and-coming guy who's going to maybe be an all-star in Austin Reeves. But then the rest of that roster, you have guys that have a specialty. They can defend but can't shoot. Or you got some guys that can shoot but can't defend. So the makeup of their team right now is going to be real tough. They're going to have everything have to go well, but to go a long stretch, they're going to have somebody step up, come off that bench. And Rui Hachimura might be that guy, but he has to turn to more than a dirty work guy than a scorer.
Yeah.
Well, it seems as if they have their three guys, right? Like we looked at it like, okay, Luka, we know who he is. We know who LeBron is. But Austin Reeves seems to be like, okay, they can trust that now. Is that enough to make a run in the playoffs, in your opinion?
Not enough. And I think the one guy they possibly can throw in there, he's young, but Dalton Connect is not getting enough time for me.
Talk to him there. Come on now.
I just think you got to find a way to get him some time. I know he's the same position of maybe a LeBron and these three we're talking about, but he can make things happen. But Rui Hachimura, Vanderbilt, those older guys, they're going to have to really step up. Vanderbilt, I don't know if he's healthy enough to make an impact defensively, but when he's out there and can play 30 or 40 minutes with an intensity, he can change some things, but he hasn't been helping.
I can see one of those coaches, I don't know if it's Nate McMillan or somebody, saying, hey, JJ, we do have this young guy on here. He can make shots, fresher legs, younger legs, and it's another shot maker on the floor. And I think by doing that, it takes so much pressure off you because now the opposing team is taking the ball out the net versus turnovers, loose balls, action. Now you're getting back on defense.
Yeah, well, the Lakers going to have their hands full against the Oklahoma City Thunder on Sunday, 3:30 tip in that one. But here's the thing that's interesting about the Thunder, because they lost to the Rockets, right? Rockets, of course, with the second best record out west. Thunder will finish the best record out west for a second consecutive year. But Smitty, now with 5 games left, they're not going to get to 70 wins, right? You see this tied with the 71-72 Lakers for the most double-digit wins in a season. It just feels like, okay, so what are they playing for now? So what do you think Coach Daigneault's strategy will be down the stretch?
Well, I think for a young team like that they don't have a lot of guys that have gone and had deep runs. I think you just keep playing basketball.
I agree.
You can tweak some guys and maybe pull them out, cutting their minutes if they have some games in hand. But I don't think you have these guys where you could just say rest. This is not, the Lakers and Luka and LeBron, they've been there. They haven't been there. So in my opinion, 3D, if the guys is just maybe less 10 minutes, take 10 minutes off their game. But I think they still got to play because they're still a young team, even though they've done well the last 2 years.
I'm playing every game all the way out, but maybe it's the first quarter. It's about continuity, continue the chemistry. You have Caruso in the locker room, so now he's the mouthpiece keeping you right mentally, but you don't need anything crazy, any twist of an ankle or catch an elbow or anything crazy. But to Smitty's point, like we see in all sports, you just don't want to shut it down for those last couple games, don't play at all, because remember, we don't practice in today's NBA this time of year, so how do you keep that flow going? That's why I think you should play at least the first quarter, then go have a seat.
The Thunder go to the NBA Finals if?
They keep playing the way they're playing. Rebound
the ball better because that's what Game 6 hurt them in Dallas last year. They could not get the rebound. They go out and get Caruso for more perimeter defense, and, of course, Hartenstein for the rebound.
And Chet Holmgren, I think he's the key.
Good call.
That's the one I was trying to lead you to there, my friend. All right. Hey, on Ended by Kia, Chris Miles here with Smitty and 3D. When we're together, we're doing it like we're doing it to do it for TV.
Let's go,
we have 5 games on this Saturday night, but one is live right now between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks. In case you're at home wondering, wait, didn't we just hear that? Well, they also played on Friday night. Anthony Davis sat that one out. He is playing tonight. Kawhi Leonard played 24 minutes on Friday night. in a win for the Clippers tonight. The first time this season that he's playing on a back-to-back. You look at the Clippers, 12-3 in their last 15 games. But here's the thing. Look at the two teams ahead of them as well. So they're playing at that level just to keep pace in the Western Conference, trying to avoid the play-in and get to the playoffs. So they're about half game behind that from the Memphis Grizzlies when we started tonight. And Memphis Grizzlies already got a win. So just how tough it is out west, Smitty. There's so many things to talk about with the Clippers.
Yes.
But the way that they're playing right now, they could potentially be an 8th seed. Do you think getting to that 6th seed is paramount for them with their age of this group?
Well, you would definitely want to get there so you don't have to play in the play-in. But I would say that when you say the Los Angeles Clippers, let's give him his credit, James Harden. Right now, I would say he is playing the best of any point guard in the league the way he's playing the game of basketball because he's sharing the basketball. He is a system right now, and he has Zubac looking like an all-star 3D. I love this team and with Kawhi back, but James Harden, for me, the way he has played down the stretch the last 25, 30 games, he was very good, an all-star up until the last 20 or 30, and then now he's going back to another level. I'm happy for him. Also, that just tells you, if you get with the right system, the right coaching staff, and then you go home, going home is different, 3D.
It's going home.
You got to go home and play.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
Not just for the coaches.
No.
But you're going to hear your friends, your uncles, everybody's talking, and so he's met that challenge.
Yeah, he's met that challenge and changed that narrative that he could have been done. Like, going back home is one thing, but being around Ty Lue and Jeff Van Gundy, who's now holding him accountable, now the effort is more now on the defensive end of the floor, so now we're no longer him saying he's playing Olay defense. And offensively, he's back to the old James Harden. He's making everyone else around him and we're better, and that's when we always say that's what superstars do, and that's what James Harden's back doing.
Yeah, triple-double watch right now in the third quarter for James Harden, 22 points, 11 assists, and 6 rebounds. But Kawhi Leonard, first time this season he's playing, second night of a back-to-back, 22 points in 20 minutes for him. I mean, 3D, the way he's been playing, it's like, oh, he's got that old thing back.
And there's no way to overstate the difference between the 6 spot and 7 and 8. Even if the matchup is favorable, you want to not be involved in that play-in because you're playing with fire.
Yeah, if you're in the East, you might want to be in the play-in.
Yeah.
You feel like you got a chance at the East of the play-in, but in the West, you don't want none of that. You don't want none of that OKC. You don't want none of that smoke. You want to avoid OKC into the finals. You don't want to see OKC early. So obviously, you want to get out of that. But like I said earlier, Memphis is one of those teams where, regardless of who they play, it's not going to be an easy series, no matter who it is. Now, they're not going to be OKC. But they'll give them a 4-2, 4-3 run. But you want to get out of that for sure. And it's about matchups. The playoffs is about matchups, and everybody's looking at those, and they might not tell you, but some people